Last week, Payday 3 put out update 1.1.4 for the game, and it has been, in my opinion, the best update for Payday 3 so far. It's added much needed changes, quality of life features, sneaky nerfs, and my wife. So, let's get into it. First off, Mask of the Week. 8 new masks were announced by Starbreeze, but with a twist. All 8 masks will become available over the course of time. However, we as the fanbase got to decide which one comes out first. Unsurprisingly, Waifu won. But it's nice to see that the microtransaction mask, Laugh Riot, will now also be free. The masks will be on sale for a little bit, then open for all at full price. I invested into C-Stacks before the update, so I have coins to spare, but the amount of cash you can get from big heists will work out in the end, so go nuts, I guess. Next up, the new loud modifiers. Now before these came out, there was a bit of hesitation I could pick up from the fanbase about their inclusion, but I personally love them. I'll start with my least favorite and work my way up. Armor piercing rounds. SWAT deal 5% damage to health through armor. Meh. At this point, trading civs is more important than ever, so first aid kits and medic bags are just everywhere, so it's not that soul-crushing. Alpha Team. Replace all regular SWAT with heavy SWAT. This one I have a problem with only in principle. Having regular SWAT and heavy SWAT in the same game is an age-old tradition with Payday. Even with Death Sentence in Payday 2, we still have regular Zeal and SWAT, along with heavy SWAT. But with that said, in practice it does have a nice difficulty curve and is a nice addition for the game. I can't fault it too hard. Tactical flashlights. Shields now have a light that can blind players. This one is just disappointing. I was excited to see more flashbangs with a shield that can blind players during a heist, but in practice the effect takes forever to get started, and even in full swing it's not that bad, and you can still see mostly fine, which is my gripe with flashbangs as a whole in Payday 3. There's a lot fewer of them compared to 2. They're not a total white blind, which is easier on the eyes, but in my experience they don't hinder the player's view enough to be a real threat. That, and with the Nader's inclusion, I feel like cops just don't use grenades a lot anymore. So if you wanted this to be a real wrench in the works, I'd buff SWAT blinding mechanics. Also let regular cops use smoke grenades again, please, 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 please. It's in the skill description and everything, please. Crippling tactics. Specials can now remove stacks of edge, rush, and grit. I like this one. It gives specials more abilities to shut down players, and it plays nice with their role in a heist. However, the Zapper is a joke. He's a shadow compared to his Chad older brother, the Taser. He runs around the map, maybe will set up a mine, and then die before he even thinks about tasing someone. If you want more bang for your buck, I'd buff the Zapper to be more proactive with tasing. Federal Negotiator. Players can only be released from custody if a hostage is traded, plus 1 hostage for every civilian killed. This is exactly what I asked for in another video. I felt that getting in custody in Payday 3 wasn't that big of a punishment, seeing that you could only spend 90 seconds at a minimum in there. But this brings back the old crushing difficulty from Payday the Heist and Payday 2. If you make a mistake and get put in custody, you have to wait it out until your team gets you out at the end of the wave, and it encourages people to save hostages for trades. I run menacing in my build, so I always get a hostage during a wave, and I have at this point just spec'd into manipulator skills. However, my only complaint with this system is that it becomes impossible to trade for a player's release once the final charge starts. This is a big misstep on Starbreeze's part, and this plays into my belief that the final charge as a mechanic is overused in Payday 3. Comparing it to the point of no return mechanic from Payday the Heist, which Payday 3 takes a lot of cues from in its design, that feature wasn't on every heist in the first game, and it was used sparingly in the second game. Now yes, point of no return is different on paper compared to Final Wave. One is an infinite assault wave while the other is a set time limit to escape the heist. But with both showing up at the end of the heist and in practice serving the same function, I think it's an apt comparison. All this to say that my fix for Federal Negotiator is to just let players spawn out of it like normal, maybe a longer time like Pay the Heist, maybe not having it on every single heist in the game. Why not bring back Point of No Return, or just have regular waves that keep building in strength like smaller heists in Payday 2? Lastly, we have Combat Duo, which allows specials to spawn in pairs, excluding the Cloaker and the Techie. This one is just great because it brings the specials more to the forefront in a game where it's felt like they've been kind of put in the background. No complaints by me. The rough part is when there's 2 dozers coming down on you like a piano, which goes deeper into my complaints with the Payday 3 Bulldozer, mostly that he's a bit too tanky and plays more like a boss most of the time. My fix for this would just be add more dozer variants, like bring back the green boy with the pump shotgun. I miss this man. Or that skull dozer, which was seen at the Starbreeze office before launch. And real quick, they did say that they wanted to add a modifier specifically for more cloakers, which I'm fine with, but I have some major problems with right now. But I'll get into that later in the video. Up next, the progression system. The challenge system is gone and good riddance. I don't know what they were thinking by making everything in the game tied to doing mundane challenges like putting down ammo bags or doing X for X number of times. The new system rewards XP based on heist value, bags, and loud and stealth completion. Loud only counts if you make it to the final charge, which I'm not entirely on board with that idea, but this new system encourages to go for the most profitable way to complete a heist, like scanning diamonds on dirty ice and pure bags on cook-off. Overall, a great change for the better. There's new paints and stickers from renown rewards for weapons and masks, and they're pretty good. I don't paint up my guns, but I love the inclusion. Great to see more content. More voiceover was added in this update. A handful of new voice lines were added for the characters, and it really helps bringing the game to life. It may just be the little things that the heisters say, like this is the place or turn right, head down. It's just great to see that they're taking care of the game and bringing it up to, at this point, I'm going to say 70% of the way to having a bare minimum of voice lines that Payday 2 had, which was a step down compared to Payday the Heist, but who's counting? It's me, I'm counting. But if I had to make a suggestion to what voice lines that I'd like to see next, it would definitely be the heisters saying when the cops arrived and when they are retreating, getting flashbanged, techie kill lines, which only a few have at the moment, and since she shows up on every heist, FBI van lines. Now, everything can't be good, so of course there were nerfs, the big one being Cutting Shot, which is now built into High Grain, which before was just double damage. I'm upset, but also understand. Before, the skill buffed a lot of guns into mini LMGs that could wipe out rooms of cops without stopping, but on the other hand, it also lifted up a lot of weapons that struggled to fit into the one-shot headshot meta by giving them more armor penetration. I'm no expert, I play with guns that I like using, but I think this change definitely hurts the viability of rifles like the CAR 4 against heavy SWAT. But the nerfs don't stop there. Unannounced in the patch notes, the Syntax era weapons got a stealth nerf to their ammo pickup rate, which is on one hand understandable. We don't want pay-to-win weapons like the Payday 2 debacle, and the War 45, in my opinion, is the best SMG/LMG in the game. But on the other hand, it's not nice to nerf DLC guns without telling anyone. Like I said, I don't balance video games, but it's not bad. I do actively run out of ammo using these guns now. Maybe tweak ammo and damage could make them a bit better. I don't know. Now, on to the Cloaker, and how they gave him all the drugs in the police evidence lockup, because fuck me, he's just everywhere now. And this just plays into my complaints with the Cloaker as a whole. He's not sneaky anymore. Cloakers in Payday 2 would be in the back of crowds or camping doors and cars, not just starting a charge from 2 miles away and running headfirst into a powder keg. They spawn so much to where you'd think there's 2 on every map, and I have no earthly idea why they made this change. But Cloakers in Payday 2 would not charge you if you were the last man standing and the rest of your team was either down or in custody. In 3, they'll chain takedown players and nothing can stop them. Just let them respect the last man standing rule again, and 50% of my hatred toward these green-eyed douchebags would be gone. Now, for a big one. The techie has been rolled out across the game as a whole, and is no longer bound to just syntax error. Now, when I first heard this news, I thought it would be terrible, but in practice she's not that bad, and actually pretty good. There's only ever one of her per wave, and her drones aren't that annoying to take out. They only deal 1 damage per shot, and even with the new flash drones that remove edge, rush, and grit, they're not hard to deal with either. The Scrambler basic skill deals with them nicely by hacking, and overall she's a good addition. Now, the new skill line, Assassin. The way I put it best is that it's Grinder from Payday 2, but watered down. I've played with this skill line for its loud abilities, and it's okay, but it could be better. You get health back for killing marked enemies, and you can get grenades to mark enemies with the skills. So my build leans all in on smoke grenades, and flanking for the double damage on shooting the back of enemies, but in order to actually get health back from killing, you have to have no armor, which in this game is just an easy way to die fast. My change to this would be to let you get health at a reduced rate while you have armor, so you can spec into other things. And I know when Clean Slate first came out, I was a fan, but at this point I'm here to say that it's a sink in skill points, and is only there so you have less skills to work with. That and having menacing to be the only way to dominate guards and cops is dumb and I hate it. Real quick, there has been some news on the next update, which should be the long-awaited Boys in Blue heist. The Scry Digital Twitter account, which in universe is run by Andrew Yang, who I'm assuming is this guy from Syntax Error, has been posting and replying to articles from the in-universe news agency, The Gateway Report. Mostly mundane stuff like missing copper doorknobs from the Neon Cradle and a lady trying to rob a bank with a skunk, but also articles like a seizure of gold bars being held in a Brooklyn police department and a drone being stuck in the vent of a building with a penthouse being robbed at the top floor. Along with this, we also got a look at the new revolver that's been in the works with this thumbnail from Red Archer Live, and these tweets also throw a wrench into the timeline of Payday 3, seeing as how Touch the Sky was completed and when the techie was rolled out in-universe. Oh yeah, and while I was editing this, they put out a teaser trailer for Boys in Blue, release date June 27th. See you then. But, final thoughts wise, this update was great. The perfect kind of update that Payday 3 should be having, adding more to the game to make it more alive, more content to play with, and make it the successor to Payday the Heist and Payday 2 that we all have been hoping for. It's not there yet, but with more updates like this, it just might be. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment. Let me know if you've enjoyed this update, or if Payday 3 hasn't won you back yet. I'd like to know. So yeah, that's all I've got for now. See you guys.